Hi, I'm Annette. We're coming to you from the Stitch and Post classroom today for my demo on how to prepare your quilts for quilting yourself or for the long arm quilter. So I have been quilting for people for about 25 years now. I have had my long arm for just under 10 years. And what I brought an old leader to show you what the quilts get attached to on the long arm. And some people use leaders with zippers and then they sew zippers to your quilts. Some people have leaders with little plastic things in them and they clip them in. I use pins just because I don't like all that bulk, and sewing a zipper to somebody's quilt just doesn't seem like something I want to do. And so that's what I use. And when the quilter tells you that they need at least 4 extra inches all the way around, that's the backing. It's not the top. Don't add fabric to your top because you probably will get it quilted. So think of this as the throat of the long arm. So this piece, your quilt gets attached here, the backing gets attached here. The sides of your quilt gets attached either with this kind of a clamp or this bigger clamp, so that there is enough tension to keep the back flat so you don't get puckers in your back while they're quilting it. So this is how your quilts get attached to the machine. So don't cut the salvages off your quilt because that helps stabilize it when they attach it. If you want them cut off the center where you piece the back, that's fine, but don't cut them off the top or the bottom or the sides, whichever way they're going to load it, because that helps stabilize the quilt. And like I said, if your quilt is too small for your backing, which I know mine's not, but we're going to pretend. Make sure you measure your top in a very flat status. That way, that's how the quilter will measure, so you get charged correctly and that you know your backing fabric is big enough to actually fit your piece, so that if you need to add something to your back, you know it's not going to get quilted into your top also. So make sure you measure correctly, because if I measure this quilt that belongs to one of our employees, she doesn't know I borrowed it. If I just left it with all the wrinkles and stuff that are in it, it measures at about 65 3/8. And when I measure it and it's taut, so it's going on the machine, it goes up to 67 1/4. So just make sure that it's nice and flat when you measure it for the size of the back. And so you kind of have an idea of what the quilter is going to charge you. So I'm going to show you how to lay out a quilt once we unbury it, so you can see what either your quilter or yourself prep it. So the back goes on, your batting goes down. And then your quilt goes down. This is one of my very old tops. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to quilt it yet. But and if you're going to quilt it yourself, either use binding clips to clip it to a table if you have room, and you start at either the top or the bottom, and when you do the sides, or if you're out of room like I am on my top, you use tape. Painter's tape works really great for this because it doesn't leave any residue. Should be bigger, but it ripped. And tape it down, but make sure it's taut, so when you use your pins, I always start in the center and worked out when I used pins, and mine were always curved. You can, depending on your batting, you can use between 6 to 8 inches is how you're supposed to pin. I always over excess pinned. That way, you know you don't get puckers. The more you pin, the less likely you have puckers. But that's 8 inches on my hand. So I would, just kind of walk my hand around 8 inches and pin. So that's what you need to do. If you have any questions, give us a call or rewatch the video. Have a great day.